Or we're at a bank. But we're at a bank like no other, let me explain. While it has vaults, they're not filled with diamonds and platinum and gold. Now these vaults contain items much more valuable. Rather than things, they contain ideas. They contain concepts, strategies, and wisdom that's been passed down over the years and made contemporary and relevant by today's greatest achievers. Like most banks, there are deposits and withdrawals. However, this one, you can make as many withdrawals as you'd like and never deplete the resources. In fact, oddly enough, the more withdrawals you make, the more deposits seem to come in. Now, many people therefore call this bank the bank of sustainable abundance. The vaults that you're going to see here are categorized into 4 areas: wealth, inspiration, success, and happiness. Why these concepts? Why these categories? It's simply because throughout time, these are the areas that people seem to strive for most in their lives. And you'll note that it makes an acronym, WISA. And then people will ask, are you telling us that we can wish our way to success? No, absolutely not. Not even close. And what we are saying is this, that when you learn these ideas and put them to work, really put them to work, you can live a full life beyond your wildest expectations, and you can truly make your dreams, and yes, your wishes come true. Truth is that if you want these things to come into attraction, you gotta first take action. So, I'm going to ask that you keep your eye out for the common component here in all of the vaults, and that's called mentoring. Yeah, mentoring. It's the act of passing on, sharing information from one person to another. And mentoring comes in different forms. It could be one-on-one, or through books, or discs, courses, and videos as well. One of the most important ingredients of success is mentoring. Mentorship is really important to me because of the mentor I have. I played basketball at UCLA. I was on the first 2 NCAA championships there under the legendary coach, John Wooden. John Wooden went on to have that great run where he won 10 championships in 12 years. You got something you want to do? In a big way, find somebody who's been highly successful at what you want to do. Sit down with them. Ask them, how did you do? What you accomplished? They'll tell you. You follow it, you can make it happen too. If you want something in life, then align with someone who's getting the results that you want. Seek them out. Do your homework. Call them up. Get persistent. Change your approach. Do whatever it takes to find an outstanding mentor. You want to have bigger success? You got to have a mentor. I'm at university. I'm in an audience that just follows me. What mentioned before, I just saw the guy who took over Einstein stuff. He was Albert Einstein's bucket maker. Bucket was my mentor. That's all. Just read your arts as well, because if you get out there, I like to work one, spend the next 7 years traveling the world. He was the finest mentor there was because he called himself a teacher. That's all he was a teacher. All 180 guys, like myself, that played for him and were taught by the finest. The easiest way to become an expert at something is find a mentor. Empower yourself with people that are better than you. Search for leaders, search for eagles, search for the people that you want to have as your mentor. Mentors are everywhere. Find one with a style and a demeanor that you like, and remember, ask great questions and put the answers into action. One is willing and one is available to be taught. You said it, the teacher of peers. My role model, my hero, my mentor. Lincoln, because he wanted it, Patton, he knew what we needed to do. All the fundamentals and all the work it was going to take to get to that point. And that's what a mentor does for you. It gives you the game plan, how to get to where you need to go. To make this system have integrity, you gotta be a mentee to a mentor, and you gotta want to mentor someone else. That's how easy it is. The greatest satisfaction in life is helping other people and having an influence in their life, and passing it on to them so that they carry the torch after you leave this world. In just a moment, I'll press that button, which is going to spin the combination, relax the locks, and open the vaults. There you'll be introduced to your mentors who share with you on video and in their own words some of their contributions to this bank of wisdom. And when they do, they challenge you to follow. First, learn. Take this information in. Ideas are going to spring forth like you're drinking from a fire hose. It's going to come fast and furious, and that's what you want. Next, live. Put these ideas to work and really live a big life. And then, like the mentors you're about to meet, passing on. Let's enter the first vault, wealth. You are in the vault of wealth. Everyone wants to be here, but not everyone knows the way. In fact, it's been said you could ask 1,000 leaders how they became successful, how they became wealthy, and chances are you'll get 1,000 variations of how they did it. On the same note, as these same leaders, what actual steps did you follow to get there? And you will find common denominators that each of them followed to go from where they were to where they are now. Okay, my catchphrase, my nickname, I know it's pretty cool, but a lot of people think I only mentor millionaires or I work with big giant corporations. And although that's true in pretty much what I do, I also mentor inner city kids in my hometown in San Diego, California. In fact, I want to share a story with you about a young man I work with. His name was David. David the Goliath, I called him. 6'4" at only 14 years old. He was a really good kid. His father passed away and he didn't have a positive role model in his life. In fact, he got into a mentorship program because he stole a bicycle and carried a pocket knife to school. And he knew better, and he was hanging out with the wrong crowd. So I decided to start working with him, and we built up a bond. It was wonderful. About 2 months goes by, I could see he started progressing quite well. Homework got better and he started making a difference around his household. So we ended up strategically over at a department store and we started walking around. And when you know, we ended up over at the bike section. Said, hey Dave, do yourself a favor. Go pick out any bike here and you can have it. And he looks at me and says, what are you talking about? I'm just a kid. I got no money. I can't get a bike. I said, great. Let's leave then. He goes, no. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, pick out any bike you want here and you can have it. He was lacking the key ingredient for all wealth building. Confidence. You have to believe more than anything that what you want actually do. Your attitude is either the walk out into the future of your door of success. It's the way you look at something in advance because there never was a winner. You didn't believe that he or she deserved to win in advance. A high level of confidence is not something that everyone is just born with. I know I wasn't. So, and I need a high level of confidence for the work that I do. How you choose to see yourself is how you'll see life. Because there is power in confidence and self-image. And how confident are the thoughts that you think, the words that you speak. You can succeed in direct proportion to your confidence factor or what you're doing. If you're willing to take the steps necessary to get confident in what you want to do, you can be highly successful yourself. Confidence means I am confident that I will do whatever it takes to make my dream come true. If you don't have positive input, what do you expect to come from? Start saying it every day, every day. I'm getting better and better, happier and happier, healthier and healthier. I'm alive. I'm alert. I feel great. Let's try that right now. I'm alive. I'm alert. I feel great. With conviction and vigor. I'm alive. I'm alert. I feel great. Say it over and over, and the more you say it, the more you get it bigger, the more you get it bigger, the more you get happy. You talk to most people in life, they want to change something outside of them. They want to change a career, a relationship, or they have other challenges in their life. But the real distinction is that when you change, your environment automatically changes. We need to attract, we influence by attracting. It's not what we do to other people, it's what we do to ourselves. We transform ourselves into the type of people other people want to follow. And life is a professional sport, not an amateur sport. Start playing like a professional and you'll receive the results of professionals get. Don't let someone's opinion of you become your reality. Learn to live beyond the opinions of others. If you can live your wish because you can make it happen. Confidence, confidence. What we need is confidence. Like the tomatoes and make it sense when you face it. They with confidence. And once you got that out of the way, I said, go ahead, pick out a bike. I said, okay, and you started riding each one up and down the halls like crazy. 30 minutes goes by, and you watch over like a game show host and goes, ta-da! I go, what's that? He goes, this is the bike I want. I said, fantastic, and that bike is yours. Because I don't get it. How could I possibly hit this bike? I said, well, now you have a clear visualization. You touched it, you felt it. That's called a goal. And the easiest way to hit a goal is to give yourself a goal to hit. Well, that makes sense. He goes, but what can I do to actually achieve this? And I said, let me ask you, what can you do? He said, I can walk dogs, I can mow lawns, I can wash windows. And I go, what do you know? It's amazing how we can come up with a great idea once we have a reason why. And what you just created was called a plan. So he took action with that plan. And he created these flyers and he put them all around town. He ended up getting more jobs he could handle. Every time I pick him up, I say, where do you want to go? Movies, arcade, back to the store. And he paid down on that bike. Don't you know it? Less than 2 months goes by. We're walking out of that store. And he's pushing that bike by his side. You've never seen someone with an expression on his face like that before. Smiles from ear to ear. I go, I don't get it. How in the world did you do it that fast? He says, I just implemented what you taught me about duplication. I go, what are you talking about? I know I've given you a lot of lessons, but what do you mean? He says it was like this. I was getting paid $10 a yard to mow their lawn. Because the other kids in the neighborhood started getting jealous. They were sitting on the curb watching me make all the money. I go, yeah, but what did you do? He goes, I hired them for $5 each to do the work for me. The next thing you know, he had an entire crew of people mowing lawns in the neighborhood, and he was just supervising. He told me he even got a t-shirt with a magic marker and wrote boss man across his chest. It was incredible, and I was pushing it. I go, man, you were asking, that's a great story. And we're pushing it out and loading it into the back of the trunk. I said, how do you feel right now? My chemicals out. He goes, change the world! I go, great. I go, you're feeling pretty confident. Absolutely. I looked at him and I said, let me ask you something. What? You know, how would you like it if someone stole that bike from you, like you did before? From that point forward, he decided not to get in trouble anymore. In fact, he turned his entire life around and started mentoring other kids within the community. So much so that a local TV station came out and did a report on him. The most outstanding young man who turned his life around. He even had the same jobs 2 years later with other people mowing the lawns for him, all based on residual opportunities. Now you might be saying to yourself, well that's a warm fuzzy story and everything, but what does that have to do with me and wealth? It has everything to do with it. You see, he followed the exact blueprint that we discovered that all wealthy people did. You see, it all begins with this. You have a goal. Because without a goal, it's impossible to reach a destination. One of the keys to success is clarity, because you can't hit a target that you can't see. But if you can see the target, then you keep shooting at it. And eventually you just do this. You know, in my life, I lost my eyesight, and I spent the first half of my life with sight, and the second half of my life, I spent with vision. And they're both very powerful things. There are a few things more precious than our eyesight. But if I had to make a choice between sight and vision, I would select vision for my life because it's made so many things possible, and brains are all that we need to propel us from where we are to where we want to be. For me, I wrote myself $1 million check because I wanted to be a millionaire. Then I went and I blew it up, and I placed it everywhere where I had to keep seeing it so I could keep visualizing it so it became real. Visualization was a key strategy that had been given to me, and I finally decided to do exactly what they said. Visualization is a game changer in its head. But somewhere along the way, you forgot how to do it, you lost it, the very thing that you knew how to do that manifested what you wanted. First, you must envision what it is that you're committed to manifest. Whatever that is, whether it's a new car or a new house, maybe you're expanding your business or attracting that relationship of your dreams. You can't say just, I want to lose some weight, I want to make more money, I want a better job. What you say is, I want to make a specific amount of money, I want to lose a specific amount of weight, I want to be in this position, I want to start this company. Deciding what it is with absolute clarity. Specificity rules the world. It's numbers, it's how much, it's how long, it's when. You gotta put it in concrete so that your mind can get a hold of it, because the mind is the most incredible biocomputer ever created. And it doesn't deal in vague, it deals in specific. Okay, now once you have a goal, what's the Well, just like Dave, he created a flyer. Remember I asked, what can you do? So many people focus on what they can't do or what they shouldn't say or where they shouldn't go. Wouldn't it be great to start asking yourself, hey, what can I do? What am I capable of? What could I do with my life without limitations? So Dave made his flyer. He'd walk dogs, wash windows, he'd mow lawns, he'd do whatever he had to do, and that's called a plan. A goal without a plan is just a dream. In the airline industry, no plane ever takes off without a flight plan, without a destination in mind. If you were to leave from the airport and deviate by 1 degree, you can miss the destination by 1,000 miles. Same thing can happen in your own life. File your flight plan, stick to it. Imagine traveling from Los Angeles all the way to New York City without a roadmap. Sure, you might get there eventually, but you need a specific plan. Attention. Take your attention. You are so powerful. And direct your attention onto that thing that you are so passionate about. Set a goal. Then figure out what you have to do to achieve that goal. Then make a plan and take consistent daily action. And then each day, wake up. The specific things you're going to do today to accomplish a small part of a big goal. We wouldn't go to the grocery store without a list, so we don't waste our time there for the energy in the grocery store. And people spend more time planning their 3-day weekend than they do what are they going to do for the rest of their life. Everyone has goals, but they spend more time planning a party than they do their life. And you need to have a strategy. Imagine a group of construction workers trying to build a house with no blueprints. That would be crazy. So, you need clear, specific, defined blueprints to build a house. Don't you think that you need clear blueprints for your life? Now, once you got the goal, and once you have a roadmap, a plan to get there, you need step 3. Step 3 is my favorite part, because David did something special. He did something, and that's called action. There's absolutely no substitute for massive action. I know this. Successful people understand that there's a law of attraction, but it's the action behind the attraction that makes the wish come true. You gotta think it, you gotta feel it, then you gotta do it. The law of compensation works this way. There's gotta be action, attraction, and gives you traction. What happens is you decide to take the action, and the universe has the only thing benefit you're willing to believe in it, then so you're gonna achieve it then. And then what happens by the law of attraction, you attract it right into your very beingness in essence. We all have fears. We all have insecurities. But if you're going to accomplish something, you gotta take action. Let me say something that scares you. Do it for sure. Don't disqualify yourself because of your fear. Make your visionary bigger than your fear. You're scared. I'm scared. Heck, we're all scared. The difference between successful people and those that aren't is that successful people do it anyway. Success is a choice, not a chance. And whatever you choose to believe, you make real. For example, in physical fitness, people ask me how to get fit. And I say, do 1 push-up a day. Just 1. Now that sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised how 1 small action, done consistently, has a way of expanding on its own. Just set a penny aside each day. It starts the habit. The habit is the most important thing. And every single one of us knows people who we think might be smarter than we are, but they're not doing it well in life. And what we have found, specifically helping people build businesses, is it's the people who take consistent action towards their goal that achieve the most success. It's not the smartest ones, it's the ones who do what they need to do every single day. If we could make you a little bit less smart, it'd be a lot easier for you to just take actions. When someone successful tells you what to do, just do what they tell you to do. Quit thinking about it so much. Get out of your head and get into life. Take some action or nothing. Okay, so now David's got it going, and everything seems to be going his way because he's following through. But how did he get that bike so much faster? He did something. It's very important. And a lot of people miss this key ingredient towards wealth building. See, a lot of people leave their job and they go over to start their own business. They want to become an entrepreneur, and they become their own boss. The only problem with that, you still got a boss. Whether it's someone else or it's you're still working for somebody. What Dave did was smart. He leveraged himself so he could do twice as much, twice as fast, and have twice the results. It's all about duplication. We only have 24 hours in a day. When we can duplicate ourselves, we can accomplish so many more things with the same amount of time. The power of duplication is you get to get out of the way. Wouldn't you like to have all the income, but you're not part of the picture? You still get paid for doing the things you did because you helped other people become empowered. We want to make it that song, but we want to make it that song. Serious. Jack and I got together, figured out what we were doing as a system between saving yourself time, energy, and money. Then we did the system so well we had other co-authors help you books. Now we've got 147 books worth, and we did 220 books very quickly. I was about to give a speech somewhere, and they asked me to talk about my income. And as I was preparing for it, I realized I do not have one single source of income where I'm the only person who makes money. One of the best things you can do to create flow in your life and create wealth is to partner with other people. Then you make money, they make money. And once we started selling, we sold a few, we get the momentum going, we sold from 7 hours, we multiplied ourselves, instead of 1 in 1, 1 in 10, 1 in 200, 1 in 2,000, 1 in 20,000. And then we get other authors to do that thing, we get to do that media, we get to do it in a multiplicity of ways. So now, we're looking to do ourselves, so there's 144 million books. Wealthy people understand the power of duplication. It's working smarter, not harder. 2 years go by. And Channel 10, remember they came out and did a segment on him? The most outstanding kid who turned his life around? He still had those same positions he started years earlier. And he still had the young people working those positions. You know what the best part is? No matter what Dave was doing, he was still getting paid by their efforts. And that's called residual. Residual income for me is like planting a seed once, but eating fruit for the rest of your life. Why do you want residual income? Because think about it for a second. Wouldn't you like to do something one time and do it right, so you get paid for the rest of your life? Most people go through life doing what they have to do just to make that check every week. That's not what it's about. You want to get multiple streams of residual income, so you have the choice. Kind of interesting, one day I woke up to realize that I was living in a welfare mindset. What's a welfare mindset? Paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. Even though I own my own company, I was president of my own company, I'm like going, I've got to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't get paid. I said that I was going to save 10% of everything that I made, and with every job, I was going to buy myself a really cool present. And then as time goes on, my savings is growing, that 10%. I then took that and invested it, and continued to buy myself presents. And now I've got money that goes into savings, goes into my investments, it starts coming back around, and I get really cool presents. You need to have passive income, so that you can have freedom to do whatever it is that you love passionately. Simply put, residual income is doing something once and then getting paid for it over and over again. And then I realized that there was another way to live life, and that was the wealth mindset. What's the difference? It's called residual income and leverage of time, energy, effort, people, and money. And what happens is in the world is wave propagation, and then it comes back to you as sustainable, perpetual, residual income, which is the best kind of income there is. And the final puzzle piece, this vault of wealth, comes down to this final principle. I love this. You see, Dave understood something. Sure, he wanted that bike, he wanted that goal, but he surrounded himself with other people and helped them. You see, the other young men and women in the neighborhood, they were mowing the lawns for the $5, and they were working for their goal, their bicycles, their dreams. So at the end of the day, it comes down to this. You get what you want, help others get what they want first. Right, that was beautiful. That's what it's all about. Could you give us an example of that in real life? Yes, actually, let me tell you a little story about someone that I surrounded myself with. His name was Jack. He's one of my greatest mentors I ever had in my life. I'm sure you know him. Do you know Jack? You don't. You don't know Jack. I'm Jack. You see, like a lot of leaders, I started my own business and I was having a tough time. And across the hall, I shared this business talk with these people I called the grumpy old men. I wasn't that grumpy, but the leader of this group is a special man. I love this guy. And I figured he really was important because he did something that was incredible. He was president of something called the Distinguished Flying Cross Society. That's right. If you ever flew a mission in the war and you did some heroic deed, you got this award of honor. An honor it truly was. And the person that held it all together, his name was Jack. And one day I went across the hall and said, Jack, I got a question for you. I'm having a tough time in business, and I want to see if you can help me. And he looks at me and says, yeah, young man, come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to take you out to lunch. I'm going to teach you how to become a self-made multi-millionaire. I go, what? And he goes, come back tomorrow, let's play. Fine. I start leaving. You know me. I come back 2 minutes later. I go, Jack, I gotta know. What were you? President? He goes, technically, yeah. You can call me president, CEO. But again, people just call me Jack. So we took something that was a small little idea and grew it into something very large. When you come back tomorrow, I'm going to show you how you can do it too. So thanks, Jack. I'm really looking forward to it. I appreciate it. So I left the building. I come back 15 minutes later. I go, Jack, I gotta know. What were you president? What were you CEO? He's down on the ground, fumbling through some papers, and he looks up at me and goes, have you ever heard of Velcro? I'm like, wow, I really want to learn from this guy. The next day we go to lunch. And here's the true key element for the life to sustain abundance. I said, what is that? He looks at me and said, make me your way to millions. He said, remember that old saying says treat people the way that you want to be treated? I go, yeah. He goes, that's a lie. Treat people the way that they want to be treated. Because everyone's got different goals. Everyone's got different dreams. But if you can help them achieve what they are, you can have anything you want in return. So wow, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to go back and implement it today. Every day I'd come into the office, there'd be a line of people waiting to get in. Do you know why? They weren't working for me any longer. They were working for their goal, their dream. And what do you know? Sales doubled, and they tripled. And I ended up getting everything that I wanted in return. So the key element to true wealth, to get what you want, help others and what they want first. So now you've worked the principles, you've earned the wealth, and you're sitting pretty. Let me ask you a question. What are you going to do with all that? The whole philosophy of pass it on is to share it from one generation to the next. Trying to leave a bunch of money behind is something much more important. One word, legacy. I guarantee you that right now in your head you have an idea for a poem, a song, a book, a play, a movie, even the next great invention. Here's the question. What are you doing with it? Could you imagine unlocking the whole container? All the great leaders who've had great ideas, people like Edison and Alexander Graham Bell and Ford and Jonas Salter. What you're about to explore right now is the exact same sequence of events that they followed to take their idea from their head to the marketplace. Get ready. Here comes the world of inspiration. Question. How many of you have had, or known someone who's had $1 million idea? How many of those ideas have produced $1 million? Well, few to know that. Because like you, I once thought I had $1 million idea. But I was wrong. What I had was a $75 million idea. That was pretty cool. It happens. But it only happens if you follow a certain sequence of action steps in order to get this idea out of your head and into the marketplace. The first step in the sequence is catalyst. It's that aha moment. We all have them. The point is recognizing it. It's a step of recognition. When you're driving down the road, you're in the shower, or you wake up in the middle of the night because it hits you like a ton of bricks. I get my ideas just walking along the ocean. My moments come to me when I'm surrounded by the beauty of nature. My best ideas come when I'm on a power walk. Mine comes when I'm in the shower. The first movie I ever wrote that I sold to a studio was Radio Flyer, and I wanted to direct it, and they didn't want to let me direct it because I was an unproven entity in the director's chair, but I made them let me direct it. And then 8 days after that, I started to fire them, so that was, profoundly devastating to me. What was my long-term goal, he asked. I said, I want to be the president of your life. And he laughed at me. That set me on my way. Catalyst for me. More fire me up. Get me going. I mean, I can't do something. By the time I got home from the set that day, I walked into my office said, I'm going to write a movie that is contained, that I can shoot in a limited number of locations on a limited budget that I know they won't be able to say no to with regard to me directing it. And I knew I wanted to do that, but I didn't know what the story was, or what I was going to write about. And I sat down and literally got the aha moment, which was a kid goes over a wall instead of a fall back out, and there's a big scary dog like that. My aha moment was really as a result of a disturbance to my body. My body became completely disabled, and at that point I thought, what is it that I need to be listening to? My aha moment was when I was bankrupt. Luckily at some point in college I had one of the people I even qualified as that Venus speakers catalog. I listened to that one thing and I thought, oh my God, I caused myself to bankruptcy. But if I caused it, like mom caused it, I woke up by thinking, we are the thinker of our own thoughts. One day, laying in bed, my aha moments come to me just before I fall asleep at night. Boom, an idea came into my head, which story came from my childhood, which was a bad incident where my brother went over a fence, and there was literally a dog over that fence named Hercules. And it bit him bad. On the leg, so I endeavored to make that a heroic story and so change the past and write it the way that I wanted it to happen. And that's what the Sandlot did. Now this is where the fun begins. Concept. This is where you get to create the embodiment of that product, service, or business to fulfill that dream or solve that problem. Law of attraction is a great law. And just by being in the right vibration and by using your mind properly, you can attract a lot of things. However, there's some corollary laws that you have to understand. One of which is one of the other great laws, is called the law of time, or the law of gestation. And we know, for example, that your ideas, your thoughts are seeds. Just like a carrot seed takes about 70 days to go from a seed to a carrot, your thoughts and your ideas take time. And so we've got to be patient and let the law of time, the law of gestation work with us as we're using the law of attraction. You have to remember that your mind is an extremely fertile seedbed. Whatever you sow into it, that's the harvest you're eventually going to reap. If you carry hurt, offense, stuff from the past, unforgiveness, resentment, and so forth, you find those are the things that you start attracting into your life. So protect the seedbed, sow some good stuff in there, and you'll get a great harvest. Invest in yourself. The universe knows that you're interested and rushes to you with an inspiring thought to change your life. There's no rule that says go in 10 rules says the first 10% of time that you spend being absolutely clear about those things is going to save you 90% of the time in achieving your results. And what do you think people do that have ideas that are successful? They take the time to plan. They take the concept and they ask themselves, what do I need to do from a legal perspective? What do I need to do from a financial perspective? What do I need to do from a sales or a marketing perspective and a magic perspective? They do their research to find out whether their idea has got validity and whether they can sell their idea to people in the marketplace. And then in only venture they take their time and their money and invest it in really fermenting that idea and making something out of it. Now, what better way, or in fact what other way, to get your product, service, or business to the marketplace, or to effectively communicate that idea? The trick here is to fully immerse yourself in the creation of that concept, and then when you fully own it, then you can give it away because it's yours. Quality of your results and quality of your life is as directly proportionate to the quality of your communication. Not only your communication with other people, but most importantly, your communication with yourself. It's important to communicate with yourself before you can effectively communicate with others. Someone said to me the other day, is it required that you take the children to Walmart to beat them? Some people act like that, don't they? No, I told you get out of there. You want me to take you out of the parking lot? Won't you? If you don't love your children, how do you expect them to love themselves? Say encouraging, positive things to your children, to your spouse, to your associates, to your friends, your family, yourself. Be careful about how you talk to yourself. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific. Instead of, oh boy, it makes me mad. Oh, that upsets me, that makes my back hurt. Let's try it right now. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific. Come on, you can do better, man. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific. Repeat it over and over, day after day after day, until you begin to believe. Speak that thought. Positive words become positive every word we speak is powerfully charged with positive or negative energy, no neutral ground, positive or negative. We've got to start listening to what language we're speaking, because we're either speaking ourselves into positive results or negative results, and again, the choice is up to you. Your commitment to clear communication will show up in every area of your life. Now that we've done all this communicating with ourselves, it's time to get your idea out there and find like-minded people who will buy into your dream. Rapport is power. Rapport is a relationship of total responsiveness with another human being. When you can get to that level, when you can have two-way dialogue and two-way communication, that's when magic happens. I find that the best thing that happens on a set working with anyone is when we listen to each other and we really take each other in. That I recognize that you're there and I'm here, and we're two beings, we're creating something together, and we're listening and we're cooperating. If you have a situation happen where maybe you thought of somebody and you haven't talked to that person for months or even years, and suddenly that person calls you out of the blue. Or in today's world, maybe you're emailing somebody or you're texting somebody, and before you can hit send on that text, suddenly you receive a text from that same person. That's when you have the essence of rapport. You're in direct relation. You're able to send that vibration out to them and then to reciprocate it back to you. Commitment. This is where the business begins. Because this is your due diligence. This shows your determination. So that when you go to others to help fulfill your dream, they know you're on track and they're willing to put all their efforts behind it. Commitment. You have to stick with it. I don't matter how many laws you keep up with, remember one thing. One day you will find that door. Everybody in life has goals and dreams, but only a few people actually pursue them. And the critical skill for success is self-discipline. If you're truly committed to what you want, and you have the ability to force yourself and make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, when you feel like it or not. And if you can do that, you can conquer the world. If you're 100% committed to what you're doing, you can win. You can succeed. You can overcome any obstacle. If you're 99% committed, it's just a matter of time before you fail. You've got to commit. When it comes to commitment, it comes down to this. When it comes to success, you always pay full price and you always pay in advance. Those first 24 to 36 months are everything in building your business. If you're not going to commit to 24 to 36 months, then don't start. You're better off not to start at all. But if you're going to do it every day like it counts. When I was younger, people told me, you're not going to be a world war executive, you're not going to fly around the world, you're not going to do this. And I never did. Guess what? I kept going, I kept fighting, I kept a lot of ups and downs. I kept going and going and going. Then I flew home and showed my jet. It was fun. Sometimes when people see successful people, they think, oh, they've always had that. And let me tell you about my career. There were points in my career where I was saying to myself, just give it one more week, just one more week. You might even be in a place where you're saying, just one more day, just one more sales call, and one more thing. If you keep at it and you show tenacity and persistence, you will become successful. You have to have a no matter what attitude. And if times get tough, so be it. If it's hard, then do it hard. And if you have that kind of no matter what, no excuse is acceptable attitude, that will empower you to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I love that. But you know what else I love? I love capital. Yeah, I love financial capital. But whenever I've chased money, this may be real to you. I've been able to find it. Closing a deal, money flows. So the idea is, look at capital as money, of course. But you gotta look at the other side of human capital. Look at the influence and leverage of other people you know. Utilize those resources, and everybody wins. Because no great thing ever manifested as a result of any one person. You need capital to succeed. The capital can be somebody else's capital, it can be your capital. It can be mental, emotional, or physical capital. But here's the thing to understand, is that everybody starts off with nothing. Everybody who's successful today was once unsuccessful, and what they did is they built up their mental, emotional, physical, and intellectual capital, and they were able to multiply to achieve their goals. Because money and resources are nothing more than a tool to fuel our dreams. You need one of two things, either resources of friends or resources of money. You are human capital. You have opportunity waiting to happen. Your potential never depreciates. Use those philosophies. There's the human capital. Visual yourself. See working in direct proportions the amount of lives we impact and our ability to be replaced. So every day invest in yourself, and learn more about the people around you so that you can all win at the game of life. I represent 70 tribal sovereign nations. We, collectively, are a $6 billion industry. We employ over 52,000 people. While I made the move for the economic capital, but other people did. Our growth relationships to get there. We are actually reinvesting within our own communities and with each other. Promoting each other money, we're consulting with each other, we're building diverse economy, the more human capital we provide others, the more others are willing to provide and invest that in you. You ever notice sometimes you pick up the phone and you make a cold call and you say, hi, here's who I am, and they say, don't have time for you. Or if you call someone and say, hi, your friend Joe told me to call you, and they say, sure, let's take all the time you want. What you're able to do is borrow a reputation. You're able to have somebody else open the door for you. That's human relationship capital. Always look for ways to add value to the lives and work of other people, and you always end up retaining a part of that value. Have you ever tried to throw a party alone, celebrate something alone? Not a lot of fun. It's like cooperation that's missing. It's like community feeling. Or should I tinker in my shop alone? And I've got great statistics for product placement. But none of it happens in a vacuum. You've got to create this cooperative effort in order to make your vision a reality. You realize there's power in cooperation. Let me share something with you. One goes can fly 75% further in formation than other bees than they can ever fly by themselves. Find somebody that you can work with and make things happen. Everybody taught me a long time ago to surround yourself with people who do all the things you can't do and hire people who are better than you. Every one of us is gifted with things that we love to do. We find other things really difficult, but other people may find those things easy. So again, hire people who play at things you have to work at, and you will achieve magical success in your business and your life. Having a good candidate is important, but more important than having a good candidate is to have a good speech writer, to have a good planner, to have a good director, to have people who know how to put the whole program together to give you a successful outcome on election day. In life and business, one of the greatest lessons that you can learn is to look at those around you, find out what their strengths and assets are, and leverage those. And everyone has a different talent. You have a talent, I have a talent, but when we work together, 1 plus 1 equals 11, not 2. Synergy is the ability to take the sum of the parts and put them together and make a team that is unbeatable. Teamwork's essential in all elements, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a team of people. It could be a team of resources, it could be a team of anything that supports your primary purpose. When I was a CEO of Software Sterling, we focused on 3 major areas: vision, what business are you really in, and then develop a culture to support it. The key component was hire attitudes, teach them the skills. Hire attitudes, teach them the skills. If you work with people, if you can find people that you can cooperate with, that creates a synergy, and that synergy creates momentum, and people learn how to cooperate, are willing to do the things that others won't do, in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Thank you for that sequence. You know, Scott, I'm known for reminding people that they're either green and glowing or ripe and rotting if they're never standing still. Well, our guests here today, they're here because they're committed to growing themselves, adding to their value. Could you help them out by sharing another example of the sequence in action? Sure, Dave. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine, Stephen E. He created a book series, Wake Up, Live the Life You Love. It all started one morning when the strangest thing happened. He woke to a voice, and the voice said, write a book. Well, understandably, he was excited and inspired, and he couldn't get back to sleep. So he got up and called everyone he knew and asked if they would help with his vision. Well, a few weeks went by. He threw a party, had all his friends come over and contribute a story to help get his book written. But after a few months, what do you know? He published his book. Well, at least now you see he had something to present to the marketplace. He went out to the local bookstores and asked if they would carry his book. Well, remember, like with yesterday, he was devastated. He turned him down flat. As he tells me, he was turned down hundreds of times. Well, he didn't give up, so he believed in his dream. He woke up, kept showing up and following up. Well, it was a good thing he did. You see, that was a couple of years ago. And today, he's got 20 books on the market, with most of them being Barnes & Noble bestsellers. with authors like Les Brown, Brian Tracy, and Dennis Waitley. Isn't it time to get inspired and live the life you love? This is great. So as you can see, he followed that important sequence of action steps, bring that idea from out of his head into the marketplace. Excellent. Now that's a great replicable system. And what a wonderful example of the power of commitment. Commitment is the heart of everything. Commitment. We're so sick we shouldn't even say it. To see in life, there comes a time you can't go on. You can't go on. But you know when you grow, you don't grow when you can't go on. You grow when you won't give up. And you know when you won't give up? When you're committed and you can't give up. Now here's an example of commitment in action. A story with our good friend Ruben Gonzalez, three-time Olympian. When I was 21, I was watching the Olympics on TV. And I saw this little guy win the gold medal in figure skating, Scott Hamilton. When I saw him win that gold medal, he gave me hope. I said to myself, if that little guy can do it, I can do it too. I would be in the next Olympics no matter what. It's a done deal. I just gotta find a sport. I wasn't a great athlete. So my plan was to find a sport that was so tough, a sport that had so many broken bones in it, there'd be a lot of quitters. Only I wouldn't quit. I chose to lose. Tell you where I live. I live in hot and humid Houston, Texas. And I was going to do the luge, an ice sport, a winter sport. I didn't know anything about the luge, but it didn't matter. So I called the luge track in Lake Placid, New York. And I told the guy, I'm an athlete here in Houston. I want to learn how to luge, so I'm in the Olympics in 4 years. Will you help me? The guy goes, how old are you? I said 21. He starts laughing at me. He's 21. Forget it, man. You're 10 years too late. If you want to do it at your age, you want to do it in just 4 years, it's brutal. 9 out of 10 people quit. When he said that, I started smiling. I thought to myself, man, this works right into my plan. This is perfect. I went to Lake Placid to learn how to luge. And the guy was right. It was brutal. The first 2 years, I was crashing 4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5. But I kept at it. The third year, I went from crashing 4 out of 5 to crashing 1 out of 100. I figured it out. And on the 4th year, I made the Olympic team. I made my dream come true. If you have a dream, you're willing to go for it, and you refuse to quit, you can make that dream come true. Commitment and success. That can take us right where we want to be. The vault of success. Inside is a code. Just may change your life. Chances are your entire life you've heard people say, find your major definite purpose or live your purpose. What you don't often hear are the specifics on how to actually find that purpose. Well, check this out. Purpose. Look, we're all put on the spinning rock for a reason greater than ourselves. And while we're here, it's our mission to find out what that purpose is. You just entered the vault of success. And success, defined by us and all the other great leaders, is simple. It's living your life in pursuit of what that mission is. We've come up with a very simple idea, an equation of sorts, that might just help you find what your purpose is. It works like this. P plus T times A squared is success. Now, okay, this isn't a fancy math test or anything like that. It's just an equation that, when actually applied by action, you too can help separate yourself from the 95% who just dream of success to that top 5% who actually achieve it. It works like this. Say you love stuffed animals. They're all over the house. In fact, it drives people nuts every time they come over. And your talent happens to be pretty good on the computer. Say you're a real whiz when it comes to looking things up on the search engine. Well, how could you take action with the right association? I'm not a rocket scientist, but you can open up an eBay store and start selling stuffed animals right online. Because you're combining your passion with your talent. You're taking action with the right association. And that's what the success equation is all about. The first element is the P, and that stands for passion. You love what you're doing, and you believe in it, and you can bring your people along with you. Passion will aim you toward the goal you're seeking. Passion is the difference between you and something, and that something being in you. We all want to live passionately, and that's how we begin to get to that next level of success that's waiting on us to get there. pinch myself every day. I really do. And I'll do it right now. Okay? I pinch myself every day about my life. I get paid to talk to so many people every day about the things that matter to me. I mean, I would do that if I didn't get paid and nobody listened.
So the thing that makes me keep going, the thing that keeps reminding me why I'm doing it is the absolute love I have for what I do. What I do, in my view, is so fun and I have so much passion for it. I also have a very strong sense of purpose.
Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're trading our life for worth it. Nobody has a stopwatch saying my life starts now and ends now. So we've got to make sure that every single day, every single moment, we trade our lives for something that we're passionate about, something we love to do, and something that can contribute to the lives of others, because that's when we feel our absolute best. You know, the most important thing you can ever do is be like a scientist. They don't work a day. They go to play, to experiment, to understand, to learn. The same thing with an artist, or a singer, or a golfer. You're doing something that you're so passionate about. You don't worry about the money, because you do it well, and you do it to serve other people. They pay you for it, because you deliver more than you promise. When you are passionate about something, that means you truly want that thing to manifest, because whatever you decide to do, there are other people out there who are going after it too. And it's going to be challenging, it's going to be hard, there's going to be difficulties, there's going to be setbacks. And having that passion and being willing to fail at doing something that you love to do, that is going to make you unstoppable. Do it big, do it right, do it first class. Live your life with passion. It's that passion that'll get you up in the morning. It's that passion that'll get you going when the going gets tough. It's that passion that'll help you do the things the competition's not willing to do. All my role models had passion. Forget General Patton. What a man of passion. When he talked about success, he said success is not reaching the top. Success is not being a winner. Success is how you bounce when you hit the bottom. If life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Passion. Okay, you've got it now. It's that burning desire within you. But unfortunately, it's not enough. You see, the success equation is P, your passion, plus T. And T is very important, because that stands for talent. How important is talent? It's everything. Think about it. You see these TV talent shows where they have singing contests? Sure, they've got a lot of passion, but unfortunately many of them are lacking talent. The opportunity to be born with whatever skill or opportunity or talent that you have, but it's really up to you as an individual to nurture and encourage it, continue to learn along the way, be a bold program, we're all genetically predisposed to having some contribution to make. Every single person has a talent. We all have different talents, but the way to succeed is not focusing on things you're not good at, but focus on things that you're good at. People ask me to come to speak and they'll say, "Oh, you ever get nervous?" I say, "No, I never get nervous." You ask me to come and sing in bands, then I get nervous. Why? I'm good at speaking, not so good at singing in bands. How do you get involved with yourself in the beginning and the ground floor? The answer is simple. It's my passion. It's a passion of myself and my team, a lot of really talented people that all got together and combined our talent and passion, and we created something to change the world. Don't try to coach yourself into being able to do the things that are not your natural talents. All you're going to do is get frustrated. The best thing you can do is focus on what you do best. Focus on what you're talented at. If you're not talented, you're going to constantly be coming up against struggle within yourself, which is going to manifest struggle outside of yourself. And I think it's also important taking one step before that is the discovery of what you're talented at and the exploration in finding your talent. You will only be successful doing something that you really enjoy doing. Here's the key. Sometimes you have to try a lot of things before you find the right thing for you. Every one of us has been given a special gift, a talent, an attribute. We know it is God's gift to us. And our obligation is use that to our fullest. Having a fine talent come true is something that you love. As a kid I know, bodybuilding or much strength, I was always fascinated with talent. There's a thing that all of us that occurs for us naturally. He has some talent, he has some gifts, he has some capacities. The idea is cultivate what comes natural within
Knowing what our talent is important. Finding our talent is what are you great at? What do you love doing? What comes easy? What's effortless? And just to clarify what effortless means, it's not sitting on a couch and not doing anything. What effortless really means is taking action just without that mental distraction.
Don't look for your talent. Do what you do with all your heart, and your talent finds you. Okay, you combine your passion with your talent. Excellent. Good for you. And you're halfway there. Now the second part of the success equation is A squared. The first A stands for one simple word, and you heard it throughout every book we've opened. And that word is action. When you want to create something new in your life, know there are specific actions for success. I believe in the law of attraction. What you throw out comes back. The law of attraction doesn't work unless you take action every day. I believe everyone has a resource called passion that they can tap into. Then you enlist your talent. But after you've done that, you gotta take action. You cannot fall asleep at the switch in this life. You want to choose something, be a pilot, be a world-class swimmer, be an officer, be a politician. Just do it. Take action. If you're not where you want to be in your life today, take action in the direction of your dreams. You have to start somewhere. Don't just sit and wait for something to happen. It's already happening. It's waiting for you to take the step. You can't sit around and wait for things to happen. You have to be proactive. Go make them happen. The universe will line up with whatever you want to do once you get off the couch and move forward. Just take one step. And when you take a step, the next step will reveal itself. Take some kind of action. Even if that action is symbolic, do something that lets the universe know that you're serious about manifesting and turning this inspiration into right action. Like Walter Emerson says, every act is its own reward. You take the action. What I'm saying is you get paid that amount. When I started my speaking business, I knocked on 10 doors and one said yes. Then I got good and I got 2 out of 10, then 3 out of 10. But if you get 10 out of 10, then the danger is you stop taking action. You don't knock on any more doors. You say, I'm so cool, I don't need to do it. You gotta keep taking the action and keep getting the result. But by and large, I don't know anybody for whom this level of success came without unbelievable effort. Here's the bottom line. If you want something, you want to be a success, you gotta be willing to pay the price. Pay the price of discipline, or pay the price of grit. In other words, most of us know a lot more than what we live. You already know everything you need to know to be successful. You just gotta put the remote control down, stick the bag of chips away, get off the couch, and do something. Now that you've taken action, what's the final A in the success equation? Well, that's association. You see, just like a Beanie Baby fan, they found their passion and their talent. They took action with the right association eBay. Because remember this, you are a direct reflection of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most, and your income will be the average of those 5 people. Successful people learn the power of association. If you associate with people who are even more successful than yourself, it will enhance everything you do. I think the right connections are very important, but those of us who came up without the right connections can take a lot of hope from the fact that we create our own connections. So you can don't need anybody you want to meet, and the most successful people I find to be the most available. Remember the friends you keep. What kind of people do you associate with? What kind of thoughts do you put in your mind? If you hang around with people who are always filled with anxiety and frustration, that's what you expect. If you hang around winners, people who are happy and enthusiastic, happiness and enthusiasm are contagious. You'll catch them, and you will show that in the way you conduct yourself in life. Who are you hanging around with? You want to hang around people you have respect for, not people you have insults over. I can tell an individual where they're going by who they're hanging out with. Whenever you choose a friend, idea is, if you begin to know where you're going, look around and begin to associate with people who are walking in that direction. Most important is that you do surround yourself with the best, because that way you get the best people and the best result. I'd rather be a member of an all-star team than be a solo star. If you're doing something by yourself, you ain't doing nothing, honey. You have to have a team. But it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Pass it on and share with everybody. One last word on association. What's the use of having all these great people together if you don't put it to work? We suggest a mastermind group. What's that? Well, that's when you get 5 like-minded people together and you compare thoughts, ideas, strengths, and goals. You know what they call it when you get 5 people together that think negative thoughts? We call that a landmine group. You are saying today you'll be 5 years never complaining. But giving me and the truth. Hang on, thinkers, you'll be a better thinker. Hang on, workers, you'll be a better worker. Hang on, givers, you'll be a better giver. Hang on, a bunch of thumb-sucking, complaining, griping boneheads, and you will be a better thumb-sucking, complaining, griping bonehead. In other words, your income in the next 5 years will be the average of your 5 closest friends. Do this. Have a pen and a paper. Write down your 5 closest friends. Write down what you think they made. Total it up and average it out. You may find, like I did, I need to see your friends. If we're in a situation where we just learned something, we've been to a class, we just accelerated, we just brought something new into our life, we take it back to the people that we're with. What can happen is, they may try to pull you back. You may take some new action, have new strategies, they may try to pull you back. Not because they don't love you, because they don't want to lose you. Find the 5 most successful people you know, call them up, ask them to spend some time together. Make that call. The reason most people fail is they don't make that call. If you want true success, surround yourself with champions. Every day will make a difference by spending the time with the people that know where you want to go, and if they care, you'll know. You weren't born knowing everything. If you want to get there fast, use a mastermind. Successful people think big. No one's focusing on the what if, how are we going to make it happen? They're focusing on the dream. When you surround yourself with successful people, you'll start thinking big. And then, sky's the limit. One simple reason, there are many, but one simple one, happy people attract people into their lives. Unhappy people do not exponentially increase your thoughts and your energy. That's the power of a mastermind group. When you want to grow, when you want to develop, when you want more, the case is to get around the people that are doing the things that you want to do. You want to be in shape, you gotta be around the people that are working out that are in shape. You want to make more money, go with people that are making more money. Go with people that are getting the outcome that you want. That too will help you get and raise your standards as well. That could be the single best example of taking a complex concept and translating it into a simple, easy-to-use equation. I can't tell you how many times I've referenced that with my clients. Greg, can you illuminate that formula with one more application? Yes, let me tell you a story about Lee. That he's a young man I met her, again, in my hometown of San Diego. A great young guy, 23 years old. You see, he was an electrical engineer, and he just wasn't very happy with his job. I started meeting with him once a month and said, what is it you really want to do with your life? Because I could see he had something called golden handcuffs. Golden handcuffs is where he made too much money he couldn't afford to leave, so he was trapped to his desk. I said, well, what would you really like to do? I just don't know. So we did the success equation. And at the end of the day, on his passion side, he said art. Because gosh, art is my favorite thing. On his talent was engineering. That's what he went to school for, and he was pretty good at it. I said, Lee, how could you take action with the right people and do something with that? He said, well, I created something called a tranquil. And I go, what? And he goes, a tranquil. It's an indoor waterfall that as soon as you walk into a residence, you see it come trickling down the sides of the wall. It has beautiful sound and music to it, and it's an inspiration for all that see. And I went, wow, let's go make them. I can't. Golden handcuffs. Got too much to buy. You need a gin. I remember the look on his face as he sat down. I said, what's wrong? And he goes, I got laid off. I looked at him and I said, excellent, this is great. Don't you understand? Just to be your typical freedom. Well, this is the whole thing we're talking about the success equation. Combining your passion with your talent, taking action. I mean, this right here, that could be your ticket to freedom. And he said, okay, I'll give it a shot. 6 months. You know it? 3 months goes by, and ABC gets a hold of them. You know that show Extreme Home Makeover where they tear down a house and remodel it? Well, they feature his trach wall throughout the episodes. In fact, 4 of the best of episodes, as a matter of fact. And now, he puts them all around the restaurant and homes in our neighborhood. The guy's making an incredible income because he did just that. He applied his passion with his talent, his action with the right association, and that is success. So here we are. We've spun the combinations, we've relaxed the locks, opened the whole doors in all of the areas: wealth, inspiration, and success. But there's one more. Just why do people strive for these areas? Well, it always seems to come down to one thing: happiness. Let's open it up, Scott. Welcome to the Vault of Happiness. Now, the big question seems to be, is there really a roadmap or a blueprint to living a happy and fulfilled life? Well, fortunately, the answer is yes. It all starts with gratitude. Unfortunately, we seem to get caught up in the one-siders. Oh, I'll be grateful, I'll have a grateful life once I get a new job, once I find a new relationship, once I get a raise. But the truth is, once we're grateful not just for what we have in our lives, but who we have in our lives, the journey begins. The best place to start is from a state of gratitude. By being grateful for things you have in your life, you're able to now enhance that and attract more things to be grateful for. One of the keys to success is to have an attitude of gratitude. Is to be constantly thinking about the things that you're grateful for. Because when you think about the things you're grateful for, first of all, you're a happy person. The reality is that gratitude has power in it. Because as you have a grateful heart, you draw more of the same to yourself. Gratitude is the antithesis of envy. If we are expressing envy in any way, shape, or form, we are automatically putting repulsive vibrations out there in the universe. But the moment we are grateful for what we have and can bless others that have what we're looking for, we create an instant magnetism in the universe and attract those possibilities to us. Most of the time when we think about being grateful, we think about just being grateful in our own mind. One of the things that will unlock success for you is to be grateful to other people. When somebody does something for you, when somebody gets benefit in your life, go to them and tell them how grateful you are for them. That creates an emotional bond that will connect you and help you achieve success. And if every day you stop and think about 10 things you're thankful for, before you even get out of bed or when you're doing your morning routine, just think of 10 things you're thankful for. I'm thankful the weather's nice, the car started, whatever it may be that you're thankful for. I like to say that the enlightenment and thanks for what most people take for granted. So if you think about your life and just are grateful for really small things, gratitude will become large and you'll discover in that field more things to be grateful for and begin to pour forth in your life. Start with anything and then everything will come to you. You'll see it come pouring in because the universe rewards those who have appreciation for what they already have. When I had my 50th birthday party, my son, the teenager, got up and he was asked to say a few words. And kids when they're teens don't like praising their parents. So I didn't even know if he'd say anything. And he only got up and said, I want to thank my father for one thing, for always being happy. And it was the best thing he could have said. I preferred that to having said, I want to thank my father for loving me. I want to thank my father for supporting me, for being a good man, or whatever. That was the best. Like a gratefulness is gratitude. My favorite prayer like children was, God, we thank you for our food. If we have no food, we thank you just the same. Because we're not thankful for just what you give us. We're thankful most of all for the privilege of learning to be thankful. Have you ever felt like you had the weight of the world on your shoulders? That's anger and resentment. Try adopting a policy of, if it doesn't flow, let it go. You see, you've got to learn to forgive. That's the second step on the road to happiness. Forgiving others, but more importantly, forgiving yourself. Stand tall and be proud. That way you can forge ahead without any impediments. Joy is the reward for letting go. In order to be successful in life, there are 2 categories of people you need to learn how to forgive. One are all those people who overgave you or left there when you needed them.
The second one is yourself. But it's time for all of us to meet the true thinker. The beautiful, powerful, talented, healthy, abundant, unlimited you. And not to get trapped into the thoughts that you think of who you are. When you forgive yourself, and you unlock the door to your true self, where all your dimensions of creativity are. When you feel blocked, it's often because your church of disappointments inward. Choose to forgive yourself and unlock the door. You've got to be willing to let the past go. You ever tried carrying tunnel boys on your back because you try to have success for them? What happens is you fail with them. You see, you can't get where you're going if you're always focused on where you've been. You forgive others, just put the path behind you and work towards the future. Here's one of the facts of life. People have been wrong me. And here's one of the things I know. When other people make mistakes, we want justice. When we make mistakes, we want mercy. One of the things that will change your life is when other people make mistakes, extend to them the mercy that you want to give them to open up a whole new world for. You have to look for the good in every situation. That's what I have found. I have found that athletes only get better with struggle. People only get better with struggle. A fighter only gets to become a better fighter when his opponent is just as good or even better than them. So look for the good in every situation. Forgive it from that aspect that this was something that's healthy for me, something I gotta learn from. I won't let it happen again, and it makes you a better person. When it comes to forgiveness, don't walk through life carrying around a cancerous poison in your life. Forgive, and that's the first thing that you'll experience from other people. Happiness begins with forgiveness. Forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others. Happiness will lead you to your bitterness or resentment. You see, bitterness and resentment is like you drinking poison and expecting the other people to die. I had a breakthrough recently. The husband said that when you forgive, you forget. And I heard something. No, forgiving is not forgetting. Forgiving is remembering without getting angry. So, let's make a breakthrough. Next step in a truly fulfilled life. Service. Be great is to give service to everyone. It's all about helping others. Think of it. When do you most want to give things to others? When you're happy, I'm serving others is the mark of a truly successful person. If you're not spending your life on something that will outlast you, you're wasting your time. You should be spending your life serving other people, especially the next generation. We all make a difference, but we don't make a difference by winning gold medals, or blue ribbons, or making a lot of money buying a bunch of cars. We make a difference by getting up every day and doing our best. We make a difference by being creative and flexible and seeing the good in people. Talent and money are no good unless they're employed in the service of others. I've always believed that I can't hang on to my talent. I've got to use my talent to serve. When I give you what I have, and it benefits your life, then I am serving a purpose beyond myself. Service is the means for anyone to achieve loving happiness, so you have to go out and you have to give in order to be able to really truly feel as if there's meaning in your life, to really feel that unification with all. People will do more for someone else than they will for themselves. Look at our public servants, look at firefighters, policemen, mothers, people who are willing to lay down their lives for someone else. Live a life of service and shamelessly give it away. The great thing about serving other people is that when you give to other people, you give to yourself. And I remember when I was younger, I thought tithing was only giving away money. And then as I got older, tithing is giving away a smile. Tithing is giving away energy. Tithing is helping another person. When something good happens in your life, that's the time you feel most desirous of being unselfish. What we want to do is learn how to become a philanthropist on every sense of the word. What I'm talking about is being able to give a shoulder for someone to cry on, or giving a compliment to somebody who's doing a great job. It can be time, money, giving a helping hand, or simply being a great listener and serving another. Life is really so sensitive, and meeting others' need even before that individual asks for it. That's real giving. A lot of people think when I'm more successful, then I'll give more. When I have more time, more money, more talent, more influence, I'll give it away. Really, we need to be most responsible when we need more in our life and find somebody and make a difference for them. And you'll find all the things coming into your life that you ever want. I know a lot of guys that are waiting until they're 65 years old before they give away their first penny. I think about all the opportunities that they would have had throughout their career to give away time, money, their expertise into the community, the things that really matter. It would have been a wonderful opportunity for them to pass it on. And let's face it, stress happens. Some of the happiest people on the planet, they have a stress coping strategy.
Some count to 10, some say needles and pens, some meditate. I mean, it's different for everybody. But the important thing is have a strategy. You're going to get stressed. I get stressed. I get out of balance. But what I've learned over the years is it's so important to have some internal happiness. You know, they say today that stress is one of the top killers in America. And it really is, because what happens is you get so bottlenecked. You know what I'm talking about when you wake up every day and you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to see the people you know you really care about. If you find a way to create balance in your life, like getting rid of some of that stress, whether it's taking time off, relaxing, or going to the gym and working out, or just going for a walk in nature, you will find you become so much more successful because you're balanced.
When I feel stressed, I come outside of the circumstances. I become the witness. I look at this from a different angle and realize, hey, this is a part of the movie. And we all have those challenging moments. And I take the time to go within, to pray, to meditate, to fast, to cut off the phones, to disengage from life, and do what I have to do to get myself to the next level so that I can get back into the game of life, starting fresh and ready to go.
Whenever I'm feeling stressed, one of the things that I do is I stop and I ask myself, you know, do you need to change your perception about this, or do you need to change your procedure? And that question really illuminates, it allows me to be more resourceful in how I approach that circumstance that was seemingly stressful. Recently, a woman during our office, she said, I am just so depressed. I said, I beg your pardon. She said, I'm just so depressed. I said, well, how do you act when you're depressed? She said, how about what? I said, how do you walk when you're depressed? She wanted to take slow, sliding, watering steps, kind of like this. I said, how do you hold your head and shoulders when you're depressed? She wanted my shoulders kind of so forward, my chin hang down, my chest like this. I said, well, how do you talk when you're depressed? She wanted to kind of talk to my nose and a whining nasal sound, kind of like this. I said, well, try that. I said, get up and try walking over, and you'll along this spring yourself, hold your shoulders back, hold your head up, put a smile on your face, act like you feel good. She got up and she started across the office. She said, along this spring yourself, had her shoulders back, head up, got a half smile on her face. She looked at me over her shoulder and she said, you know what? I do feel a little bit better. Now you tell me in the future you get feeling down and out and the walls against you. What do? You just sit on a chair like this and you just jump up and you say, I'm depressed.
I always remind my clients that there's always an effortless solution to any apparent problem or challenge.
I think we have to understand that we are responsible for the stress in our lives. It's nothing external from us. Stress is caused because of the interpretation or the meaning that we give things that are happening around us.
Because I know that the moment that I'm stressed is usually when I've left my body, anxiety comes up and I'm spinning somewhere off in la la land. So if I can take a moment to breathe, get my feet on the ground, feel whatever it is I'm sitting on, my back against the wall, wherever I happen to be, if I can get back in my body, that will help bring things down, then I can be calm and more focused, and get back to my joy.
Scott, may I ask you to illustrate one of those strategies? Well, as a matter of fact, Dave, I've got an illustration in my action guide. It's called Ants and the Apes. Ants. We all have them. It stands for automatic negative thoughts. It's been said that we have over 64,000 thoughts a day. Unfortunately, most of them are negative. Let me ask you, what's bigger than an ant? Well, an ape, of course, and that stands for automatic positive experience. This can be a memory of anything that's special to you, like your graduation, or a wedding, or even a much-needed vacation you took a while back. Remember this, although an ape is much bigger than an ant, 64,000 of those little rascals can take down the biggest of beasts. For me, it's a song by Billy Joel, in the middle of the night, that I keep my front pocket, so to speak. It works like this. Say I'm driving down the road, and someone cuts me off. So like most people, my hands creep up and I have that knee-jerk reaction. Why, you son of a gun! But then, my ape steps in, which is much more powerful, and clicks that ant away while I slip into my favorite tune, In the Middle of the Night. Now, it takes some practice at first, but before you know it, your ape will be standing right outside that anthill, with those little buggers awake as soon as they pop their heads out. That is the power of turning your ants into apes. Now here's one of my favorite steps to a happy life. Personal time. For me, I take long drives. Not in traffic though. No, I take long drives on long stretches of open highway. That way I can clear my mind and think good thoughts. I am a fanatic about personal time. I make sure that I have time at the beach, and when I get to the forest, my most important thing is to watch the trees be green.
Simple joy of life is to be out in nature, to be at the ocean, to breathe fresh, clean air.
It's always best to enjoy yourself, don't take yourself too seriously, and enjoy life and those people around you, and just laugh, have a good time.
One suggestion, find your sanctuary. For me, it's my bubble bath, and I love the fact that there's a lock on the door, and a fragrant bath bomb, and a candle, big bottle of Perrier, maybe a glass of wine. For you, it might be your garden, it might be a big chair, whatever it is, find it.
For the first 30 minutes that I'm awake each day, I lie in bed and plan my day. This is not myself, spend some time with me and do affirmation, prayer, meditation, and get things right with me. Every single day within the first hour that you wake up, invest time in the things that make you happy, then healthy, and then wealthy, and tell me how you do that. The single best way to have personal time is to rest. My patients tell me that they can't sleep because they can't turn off their minds. It's possible to slow down and sleep, but you must give yourself the time to do it. People always say, I don't have enough time to exercise. I say we all have enough time to exercise, we just have to have the commitment. I speak to tens of thousands of people and hundreds of airplane rides a year, and I find the time to exercise because I'm committed to a healthy lifestyle.
You can't pull anything out of an empty bag. You've got to pour into yourself to make sure that you're not mentally, emotionally, and spiritually malnourished. So take care of yourself. You are your greatest commodity.
The last step and the last bulb is simple and easy. Smile.
One of the most simple gifts I can give that gives me great pleasure in giving, and I know people enjoy receiving, is a smile. It's so important to smile in order for you to be able to feel positive, happy emotions. Even if you're not feeling them in the moment. It may seem a little cheesy or inauthentic, but it's not. Because when you smile, you shift your body language, and it'll start making you feel a lot better.
Pass it on. Pass it on.
Pass it on. Your smile is your most effective method of communication that transcends all language barriers.
A smile is the key. Open the door you thought you could never get through. One of the greatest techniques I learned on the road to success is smile talk. I learned that it was a way for me to manage my environment and manage my attitude. The smile is the secret weapon of success. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. Now I like to smile, but it isn't quite that easy financially. Things aren't going right, and not going the way you want to. The smile, and all money around it. The beauty of a smile is that if you keep giving out smiles in the rest of the day, you keep going down and moving, down and moving, and dread somebody that you set on a smile to is going to see you, give you fluorescent smile, and it's going to force you to smile, and you're going to instantaneously feel better. Let's get everybody to smile everywhere. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. A smile is what creates atmosphere. Atmosphere doesn't not come out of thin air. Somebody has to create atmosphere. And probably a quicker, easier way to create some atmosphere than if they smile. What a journey. Let me cut to the chase because this isn't the end of the journey, not by a long shot. This is where it truly begins. And one sure way to maximize your effectiveness is to do the following. First, take a good, solid, realistic look at where you're at today. Look in the areas of wealth, inspiration, success, and happiness. And get real honest with yourself. What's your starting point on these areas of a scale of 1 to 10? It's like 1 is lousy and 10 is mastery. Where are you starting? And accentuate the positive. The high numbers, pat yourself on the back, that's good stuff. Next, illuminate the negatives. Shine the light on those areas with the low numbers where when you could illuminate them, you could start working towards illuminating them. Now, how do you do that? By applying these mentors' ideas. Take right action on these things. Move closer and closer to being that perfect. And there it is. Our journey has taken us through 4 bolts of with mentors and inspirational leaders, where they've shared openly, in their own words, some of their wisdom from living a life of sustained abundance. And now, together, we challenge you to learn it, live it, and pass it on. Pass it on.